Hi, first grade families. I just want to go over some things for this week. If you're looking at my screen, I just made it a little bigger. You notice that there are some newer things this week, a little more. So we have all the kids coming together. So that means we're going to be doing a little bit more here at school. Just remember, when your child is at school, you do not have to do anything on Seesaw that night. So now that we're in green, you're responsible for at home on Wednesdays, when it's e-learning at home on Wednesdays. And if your child is sick and has to stay home, everything is still on Seesaw. I'm not changing how anything is going out. So if you would look on Seesaw Monday or Tuesday after school, you're going to see things in their light bulb. And we do those things here at school. Now, we might do it in a different way. So, for example, handwriting. It's going to show handwriting on their Seesaw light bulb. But when they're at school, I'm giving them a paper to do handwriting on. And that might happen on some other things. It might still show up in their light bulb, but we're taking care of it in a different way at school. Um, Sometimes then we do the things on the light bulb. For the OG, I go back and forth. We do the paper part here at school, and there's some things like I do the cards with them here live at school, but there are parts on that OG lesson that's on Seesaw that I do play on the video for the screen. So just so you know, I'm using it both ways, but it needs to go out like normal in case we would have to go back to yellow or red where you're at home, or if your child has to be quarantined at home, they've got all their stuff. So everything's still going out. Just know, do not feel like you have to then go home each night and look at their light bulb and see what you have to do. No, just on Wednesdays. But there's going to be more things come out on the light bulb because we're going to try to start doing virtual learning stations. So if we were at school normal, I would let the kids be able to hold books. I would be able to let the kids use my learning, I don't want to call them toys, tools to do stations with. But I can't do stations the normal way. I can't let them share items. So we have virtual stations. So you're going to see a lot come through on the light bulb, and it's going to be maybe the same things every day come through, and it's so I can use it for stations at school. And your child's not going to do every single station every day, and there might be a day we don't have time to get to it, but I push it out as if they're going to do it. Now, can you do some things at home for extra? Let's say your first grader comes home and they're bored, or it's a rainy day and there's something on their Seesaw light bulb that maybe we didn't do or they didn't do, or we did it in a different way. Can you do it? Sure. I'm not going to be upset if you want to do any extra thing. But let's look at this. So if you notice, I've added a language grammar in our weekly reading story. So on Wednesday, you are responsible for what's here. You're responsible with the have to things, because I know that there's going to be a lot showing on the light bulb, and you're like, do I have to do all this? There are going to be some things that's going to be labeled virtual learning station. No, you don't have to do that. That's just because I had to send it out. What are you responsible for? What's in these boxes? Remember that I send out a weekly list on here. Hey, this might be a good checklist for you to know what you should be doing on Wednesday. You could even print them out if you're able to at home. So you're responsible for the OG lesson, the handwriting on that day. Remember, Zern is a little extra that I hope you can do, but again, that's extra. You're responsible for the math lesson that's in the Seesaw light bulb. We always have a social emotional that's important for them to do. Now we're adding the weekly story. There will be a Seesaw light bulb activity that has to do with our weekly story, Nat and Sam, a little activity. We now have a language grammar review we're going to be working on. You're responsible for that. And there's always that fluency part in Seesaw. Those are the things that you're responsible for. Okay? There's going to be some writing things in there that you can do. But remember, if it says a virtual literacy station, you're not responsible for that. Remember, your child has been using the virtual classroom library a lot at school, so they know about this. So if they want to have some time to read, this is where they can find books to read. Remember, I've got some counting things over here. That's good practice for knowing numbers. If you've seen that your child's had some hard time with numbers, maybe they need to click on this for a little extra. So just wanted to go over what you're going to see this week. And I know that specials, they also send out their things, and they send it out more than once because we know that if a kid clicks on it, then they need to maybe go back and do something. So you're going to be seeing a lot of things to go through. That's why it might be really important for you to click on these boxes so you can see what your child needs to do. So if I click on the language grammar, let's take a look. Okay, so on the language grammar, this changes every day. So just so you know, this is where your first grader, you can walk through the language grammar with your first grader. Every day it's right here. And if you click on the weekly story, then right here, they can listen to that weekly story every day right here. Nat and Sam, it's also going to be in the Seesaw light bulb. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. Please make sure that you're charging your child's iPad every day. When they come home, plug it in by the door so you have to step on it before you walk out the door. I would plug it in overnight and you grab it every morning. It's so important. We need that 100% every day. I have a lot that come in and it's at 20% or less than that, and I plug it in right away. But we do other things on it throughout the day. So please make sure you're charging your child's iPad every day, and make sure you're looking at the B-book. Make sure you're checking out their behavior every day, and if there's any papers you need to go through in the red folder. Let me know if you have any questions.